ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਨਵੋਲਵਮੈਂਟ ਲਈ, ਚਾਹੇ ਉਹ YMCA, ਹੁਣ ਬਿਗ ਬ੍ਰਦਰ ਬਿਗ ਸਿਸਟਰ ਦੇ CEO ਨੇ, ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਵੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਪਰ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ CBC ਵਾਸਤੇ ਵੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ 15 ਸਾਲ ਕੰਮ ਕੀਤਾ, ਜੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਕਾਫੀ ਲੰਬਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਐਕਟੀਵਿਟੀਜ਼ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ, ਫਿਰ ਅਤੇ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਰੇਜ਼ ਕੀਤੀ, ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਦੋਨੋਂ, ਸੋ ਇਨਕਲੂਡਿੰਗ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਵਾਈਫ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਆਈ ਥਿੰਕ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਣੀਆਂ ਚਾਹੀਦੀਆਂ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਜੰਮਣਾ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਓਪਰਚੁਨਿਟੀਜ਼ ਨੇ, ਬਹੁਤ ਕੁਝ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਨੇ ਮੇਨ ਸਟਰੀਮ 'ਚ ਜਾ ਕੇ। ਸਾਡੇ ਵਰਗੇ ਲੋਕੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬਾਹਰੋਂ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਰਿਸਟ੍ਰਿਕਸ਼ਨ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਚੀਜ਼ 'ਚ ਇਨਵੋਲਵ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੇ। ਇਟਸ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ people like us, those spend most of their life in back home. Is it not easy to get into all the things?
Yeah.
Because we don't know the culture, we don't know the...
And you know what, these kind of things are really important. When I was at the Y, and now at Big Brothers Big Sisters, we think a lot about this because there are some things we just take for granted. Like if you were born and raised here, you just have a sense that, people have that same cultural translation when it comes to... I'll give you an example. 2012. It was 2012. We opened the Saddletown YMCA in the Genesis Center. Brand new, beautiful facility, lovely center of community. And I remember talking to Bridget.
Yes, she was here that time.
Right? I remember talking to her and some of her team, and I said, how's it going? I was on the board of directors of the Y. I wasn't even on the staff team yet. And I remember one of her team saying, one of the things we're having some challenge with is the combination locks. I thought, what do you mean? In the locker rooms, they have combination locks and there were so many people, young people, parents, older people, they'd never used them before.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, we use them, right? Yes. We've used them. I've had one since I was in grade 5 or something in Southeast Calgary. But you wouldn't think that would be, something that we have to think about and make sure that people understood. And once they got the hang of it, it was fine. But these are just things we can't take for granted. That people who grew up in amazing circumstances, but in other places, yes, as they come to Calgary, that we have to welcome them in. And welcoming isn't just, I always say that welcoming is not just tolerating. There used to be that word, we'll tolerate you. Well, no. It's about acceptance. It's about belonging. I'm the vice chair of the board of the Calgary Foundation, which is our large community foundation in Calgary. Very proud that in April of last year, in 2025, we've been a foundation for 70 years. A community foundation is about lots of things, inspiring philanthropy and helping people, create gifts and opportunities to give back to community through charities. And it's also about making grants into the community. Well, in April, we celebrated the $1 billionth granted into Calgary.
Wow, that's
and as vice chair of the board, it was our board and all of our many volunteers. I co-chair the grants committee. So our job, myself and my co-chair Alice Lamb, have this incredible committee of volunteers, all of which share mental health, physical health, sports and hockey and just all sorts of different things. And we want to make sure that when we're making our grants, that it's not just the usual organization with the usual leadership that gets the money, that we're having conversations all over. I always say, who are we talking to east of the Deerfoot? Because there's incredible things happening in this part of the city. And, it's on us as volunteers and as a foundation to have better understanding what's going on culturally. And so we've got volunteers from all over the community, all over the city, and they bring really great instincts to our granting so that we can make really good grants into the community, but not just organizations that might have been supported for many years and many decades, but new organizations or emerging organizations that have different challenges and want to solve problems.
That's wonderful, so much money to help people. Just it's not basically government, it's a non-profit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And collecting that money basically, and it's a wonderful job. And once again, ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦਾ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੈਨ ਅੱਜ ਆਏ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਬਹੁਤ ਜਾਨੀ ਮਾਨੀ ਸ਼ਖਸੀਅਤ ਨੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਭਾਈਚਾਰੇ ਚੋਂ, ਬਟ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਵੀ ਕੀ ਕੁਛ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ, ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਪੋਲੀਟੀਕਲੀ ਲਾਈਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਹੀਦ ਨੈਂਚੀ achieved at that time when there was so much Islamophobia and those kind of things were very much in there, and he achieved a wonderful thing because of his own skills and friends like you and all the family members, But Ken also achieved a lot of things. And, thank you very much for doing all the efforts. You don't know, after listening to you, watching to you, a lot of kids will be thinking, okay, we can also do something in the normal, general public,
And I think one of the best ways for that to happen is mentorship. So the work I do now is I'm very proud to be the CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Calgary area. So that's a charity that we've been in this community for over 30 years. But as an organization Canada-wide, we've been doing this work for 120 years.
Wow.
And it's all about mentorship. For me, some of the things that I've been able to achieve or accomplish in my career is really driven by mentorship. It's about people that trusted me to try a bit harder or learn a few skills, or sometimes they corrected me when maybe I was on the wrong path, especially as a young person. And that's what we do for young people now. Big Brothers Big Sisters in this city has almost 17 or 1,600 young people that are being served through mentorship. We've got adult volunteers. Our youngest volunteer would be in our teen program, Rajesh, 15 years old, and student volunteers mentoring younger kids like grade 1 or 2. So your son's age would be mentoring a little guy in a school. And then our oldest volunteers in their 80s. And we're supporting young people that maybe have challenges and adverse childhood experiences, mental health, some poverty, bullying, different things are challenging in their lives. But they need that mentor, a volunteer. All of our programs are free, and it gives them the opportunity to connect with somebody. And we don't need our mentors to be perfect. Yes. We need to have them be present for these young people and persistent, to show up time after time, whether it's once a week when they're visiting, if they're looking after a little one as a mentor, or even a couple of times a month if they're working with a teenage kid. The young people that we serve, the littles in Big Brothers Big Sisters, the littles are anyway from age 6, but we go right up to age 24.
So 6 to 24, anyone can join for mentorship.
And the reason that we go till 24, some people are surprised. Usually supports like ours end at 18. You become an adult and suddenly your needs disappear. Well, we know that young people's needs are still, and maybe they're increasing at that time because there's all sorts of complexity.
Life is changing.
Right, complexity, trying to figure out what to do. I mean, we were just talking, our kids are in grade 12 and now trying to figure out what's next and all that stuff. And we also know the human brain is developing and growing right up until age 25. So if we're supporting kids further along through mentorship, and we've got a wonderful team of about 35, 36 people, hundreds of volunteers, both adults that mentor kids in school and also in community, one-on-one. And now we're starting some group programming and experimenting with that model. And then also in our teen and student program as well. So it's very powerful. We're constantly looking for support. One of the things you reached out about is our new campaign. Can I talk about 94 Doors?
Yes, please. I will little bit explain.
Yes, please. Go for
that. So, ਕੈਨ ਨੇ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਜੀ ਬਿਗ ਬ੍ਰਦਰ ਬਿਗ ਸਿਸਟਰ ਦੇ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ CEO ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਬੜਾ ਵਧੀਆ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਇਹਦੇ 'ਚ 6 ਸਾਲ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ 24 ਸਾਲ ਦੀ ਉਮਰ ਤੱਕ ਦੇ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੇ ਜਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਬਿਗ ਬ੍ਰਦਰ ਬਿਗ ਸਿਸਟਰ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਮੈਂਟਰਸ਼ਿਪ ਲੈਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ। ਬਟ ਐਟ what age mentors can join, like what age?
Yeah, so our recruitment for volunteers is constantly happening. Yes. One of the challenges, I will be honest with you, right now in this city, in our program, we've got about 180 young people on the waiting list. We've met them, we've understood their situations. They're literally waiting for that adult mentor to walk in and be a part of their lives. 180 young people. Here's the interesting thing, Rajesh. Out of those 180, about 150 of those kids are waiting for a male. They're waiting for a man. And it's interesting because sometimes men will say, I'm just too busy. But we can figure out ways to make mentorship work in your life. Or they say, I had some struggles in my own life or in my teens or my 20s or whatever. I guess that's disqualifying. And we say, no. Those are the things that gave you experience, that made you understand maybe what some of these young people are going through. And so we want more people to consider mentoring. It's really powerful. We hear from mentors all the time as they apply. And we've got a wonderful enrollment team that will help you understand what we're about, get you trained, police checks, all that important stuff that we need to keep kids safe. And then the volunteers will say, I feel like I'm getting more out of this than the kid is. Now, it's obviously a two-way street. There's lots of good going on. But we are seeking more volunteers right now, and we're on a campaign, not just for volunteers, but also for funding.
That's awesome. Basically, क्योंकि सानू volunteer हमेशा ही काफी चाहिए होंगे ने क्योंकि जेड़ा ने दस्या कि almost 150 ਦੇ ਕਰੀਬ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੇ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਵੇਟ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੇਲ ਕੋਈ ਮੈਂਟਰ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਸੁਣ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੀ ਦੋਸਤ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਪਲੀਜ਼ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਯੰਗ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਖੁਦ ਅੱਗੇ ਵੱਧ ਕੇ ਆਓ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਨਰੋਲ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਸਕੇ ਬੋਰਡ ਤੇ ਲਿਆ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਲੈਸਨ ਸਿਖਾਏ ਜਾਣ ਆਈ ਥਿੰਕ ਵੀ ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡੀ ਕੋਈ ਸੇਵਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਸੇ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਨੂੰ ਚੰਗੀ ਰਾਹ ਤੇ ਪਾਈਏ when I was in my high school, I was always tried to be a businessman. Okay. And my uncle told me, no, first study, complete your whatever graduation you want to do. And fortunately, I ended up in engineering. But he said one educated person can educate 40 more people.
Yes, it's incredible. So to pass on that wisdom and opportunity, life lessons. And it's not just a one-way street. It's not just, I'm the mentor, I'm going to tell you. There's growth and there's learning across the relationships. We've got a new campaign we're calling 94 Doors. 94. And here's why we're calling it that. 94 Doors, about half our waiting list is about 94 kids. And we know that if we can open the door for these young people, their mentors give them experience, they show up for them, they're persistent, they're present. Many times when they're connecting, you know what they're not on, Rajesh? They're not on their phones.
Yes.
Like we see a lot of that. They're connecting with each other. They're playing games. They're watching. They're watching cricket. Whatever they're doing together, but they're sharing really important, meaningful time together. We hope to open in the next few months 94 other opportunities for young people. So it's a fundraising campaign called 94 Doors. You can learn about it on our website, Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Calgary and area. Just put it into Google, you'll find us. And we're hoping to convince individuals, families, or even organizations and companies to invest some money. $5,000 will open a door for a young person and help us help more of those kids that are on that waiting list have an experience through mentorship, which is so important, particularly in this city right now, when there's so many newcomers and there's, I would love to see more volunteers that are newcomers. I would love to see more donors that, in the South Asian community, for instance. We're a very successful community that has done very well, supporting, starting businesses, being entrepreneurial, and a generous community as well. So I would love to see more of that. And you can learn more about it on our website, 94 Doors.
94 Doors. So that's a wonderful ਜੀ ਬੜੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਿੱਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੰਗੋਇਜ ਕਰੋਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੂਜਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਲਰਨਿੰਗ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਐਸੇ ਕੰਮ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ just like young people move here and they got a good opportunity to get into engineering and everything but they don't know about the young like how they are feeling over here and if they are married their new kids are coming through these kids I think they can practice
absolutely
how they can train their kids.
We have a lot of volunteers that are young parents and stuff and they want to learn more about older kids and they want to share some of their wisdom. The average age of our volunteers right now is about 35, 36. So they're relatively young but they've had some experience in their life, in their employment, in their schooling, in their business. They maybe have a family or have some close supports with them. And I hear it all the time. They say, I'm not feeling like I'm giving enough back. And so we say, well, this is a perfect way to do it. You don't need anything other than our staff, some training, and then it's two people in a relationship, a mentor and mentee, big and little, and amazing magical things happen. And the best part is because of fundraising campaigns like 94 Doors, for the support for the families that we serve, those kids, all of that programming is free. We don't charge the families anything.
That's good. And 94 mean 94.7 FM.
There you go.
You know?
I think
So
we're
that's
natural partners.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to say it. I was going to say it.
So that's why it's a very good opportunity ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਯੰਗ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਖੁਦ ਜਾਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਮੈਂਬਰਸ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਦੂਸਰੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰਨ ਸੋ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹ ਲੋਟ ਆਫ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਯੰਗ ਪੀਪਲ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਾਊਥ ਏਸ਼ੀਅਨ ਭਾਈਚਾਰੇ ਤੋਂ ਜਾਂ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੈਂਟ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਤੋਂ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਲੋਟ ਆਫ time I have seen these young people, if they are not trained well or we don't show them the right path, they get into the bad.
They get into trouble, right? And we believe, and I believed in my career all the way along, whether it's at the YMCA or now at Big Brothers Big Sisters, that if you give young people things to do, great role models, sure they're going to make mistakes. Every human does, but if you can give them that trusted, connected adult or even youth to show up for them and role model for them. Not only are you changing maybe their choices, you're literally changing their brains. We have very powerful data that we use. We've got a really great partnership with a Calgary-based foundation called the Palettes Foundation. They do something called the Brain Story. It's all free. It's amazing research that they've built over the number of years. They've spent tens of millions of dollars understanding how the brain works, how it develops, how some people, when they're feeling stress, that becomes toxic stress rather than tolerating it. And they've done some really interesting things. Our team has trained in that model. So we really understand some of the other work we do. We're doing a study right now with the University of Calgary to better understand this work and how to make mentors better at what they do, how to make mentees more receptive and accessible to this good. And we're working with a scientist there. And it's been incredible to learn more about mentoring, but also to connect more people through it.
That's wonderful. Actually, I think I know many people, young people know after talking and listening to you, I am getting idea. I should approach them.
We would love that.
They love playing. They are into sports and everything. And if they volunteer sometime, and these young people will learn a lot of things.
Yeah, and we can connect them. Like, if they want to go to the Flames game, sure. Maybe we've got some free tickets that they can go and they can introduce the young person to see their first hockey game or to see their first Calgary Surge game or to see their first, go to a play for the first time. Where these young people are always having new experiences. And the volunteers that are with them, they're having a great time as well.